Ariel Helwani in Newark, New Jersey, getting set for UFC 128 alongside Jon Jones, who faces Mauricio Shogun Rua this Saturday night live on pay-per-view for the UFC light heavyweight title. And Jon, the moment is here. You've been talking about this for a long time. I just want to ask you first, do you need to tweet? Because you've been averaging like one tweet every 5 minutes. So if you want to get that out of the way before the interview starts.
I'll probably tweet this. I'll retweet this interview when it comes out. How's that?
Good deal. Yesterday, I thought at the press conference you looked very calm, relaxed. You were really enjoying the moment. What have you told yourself about this? You know, this is a big deal for you, but it doesn't seem like you're reserved, you're nervous, anything like that. You just seem to be having fun out there.
Yeah, I'm just going with it. You know, I'm realizing more and more that no matter what I do before the fight, they're going to lock us in there. We're going to have to fight each other. So I might as well enjoy the ride. You know, I would hate to look back on life and say, oh, man, you know, I remember I would just stay in my room and I would just freak out the whole time, and you know, and I ended up winning the fight anyways, type of thing, you know. So I'm just realizing that they're gonna lock us in there, so I might as well make the best of it, you know. Use all the media to my advantage, you know. I'll get my Twitter followers up and things like that, and just enjoy it, you know. I'm fighting in New York as well, and I think it's important for me to do my part. You know, this fight is very small compared to the scale of work that needs to be done to legalize it in the sport and in New York. So I'm just trying to do my part as much as possible and then put a cherry on top of all of it with a great performance.
On the flip side of that, we talked to Shogun about the press conference and some other stuff, and he called your demeanor and your behavior ridiculous, and he was very upset, and he thought that you were a little too confident, a little too cocky, playing to the crowd. He didn't like all of that stuff. What do you make of that?
I have no clue what he's talking about. I don't think I did anything that was disrespectful. I don't think I said anything that was disrespectful. And I mean, I find some of the things that he says about me actually disrespectful. Between his brother making comments about how I have no punching power, how his manager says that he was going to kick my ASS. What else? What else?
Did you see the countdown show?
How I have chicken legs and how he's going to kick them repeatedly. So, you know, it's okay with me. If I'm in his head, that's even better.
Did you see the countdown show?
Yeah, I did see it.
They seem very fired up. His manager, Eduardo Alonso, they seem very fired up. Like they're not getting any respect here. Do you see where they're coming from?
Yeah, absolutely, and I love it. I feel as if I've maybe gotten in their head a little bit, and maybe they feel as if their back's against the wall, and that's great. Hopefully that brings out a really vicious Shogun, and I'm definitely going to be as vicious as possible. So it calls for a great fight.
A lot of people were surprised when they found out that you've been signing your name as Champ 2011. How did that come about?
You know, I believe in the law of attraction, and I believe that that you can speak things into existence. And I believe that when you know where you're going and you know what you want, the universe has a way of stepping aside for you. And me signing my signature with Champion 2011 on it, it can't hurt me. It can't hurt me. It could only help me to believe it even more, you know. So yeah, I mean, it works for me.
You've been saying something that I find to be very interesting, that the butterflies in your stomach are in formation.
Right.
I've never heard that before. I think it makes a lot of sense. What do you mean by that? Elaborate.
What I mean by it? Okay, so the butterflies in formation, basically it means when you have butterflies and you're feeling anxious and you have anxiety or nervous, that's when you're most powerful, I believe. And either you can, you're most powerful. So a lot of people, instead of homing this power, and using it, they allow it to just consume them. You know, there's another quote that says, a big challenge or big pressure is like a fire. It's like a raging fire. Either you can allow this fire to consume you and just take you over completely, or you can gain control of this fire and harness it, and you blow it right at your opponent like it's Dragon Ball Z style. All right, so that's what I'm trying to do. I try to get my emotions under control and use this adrenaline to my advantage.
What do you think is Shogun's biggest weakness?
Shogun's biggest weakness is definitely his wrestling, and I think his jiu-jitsu is also very overrated.
He thinks your jiu-jitsu is your biggest weakness.
I think that's great that he thinks that.
We'll find out.
We shall.
Is 50 Cent walking you out to the cage on Saturday?
Unfortunately, he's not. We offered him tickets to the fight, but he's a very busy guy, and it was an honor meeting 50 Cent. I think us fighters, you know, getting to have, you know, bigger celebrity friends like that can only help our sport. You know, he gave me a tweet, and I think he has about 4 million followers, which is more than Dana White and the UFC put together, and that educated a lot of people to like want to see this fight. So it could only help our sport. You know, me and 50 Cent meeting each other. You know, we're both from New York, and I think it's important for for people to come together and use their power together and promote each other and things like that. So there's nothing negative that can come to me by meeting such a huge marketing tool like 50 Cent and a huge icon like 50 Cent.
If not 50, maybe Rosario Dawson?
I got in trouble last time I talked about her in an interview, so we're not going to go there.
Final question. A lot of people like to compare, the stars of today to the stars of yesterday, and a lot of people are comparing you to Mike Tyson. At, just 20-something years old, he won the heavyweight title and just started this whole new era of heavyweight boxing. Do you see any similarities, and have you studied what he went through and then what happened to him when he won the title and his decline, all that stuff?
No, I don't see any similarities between me and Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson had a different mindset. He was raised differently. He was a little more worldly, and I come with a different message. I think he got sidetracked to things. Even though he's a great guy, he's an icon. He transcended boxing at the time, but I try not to listen to things like that. I just try to focus on being the best Jon Jones that I can be, and keeping my message more on the positive side. And I think the only similarity is that we both achieved a lot of success at a young age, but to be compared to Mike Tyson is not what I'm looking for.
Not one Rashad Evans question. Are you impressed?
Thank you.
It goes down this Saturday night live on pay-per-view. Jon Bones Jones goes up against Mauricio Shogun Rua for the UFC light heavyweight title. Best of luck to you, Jon.
Thank you, sir.